As thousands of planes sit idle at airports across Canada and people cancel their travel plans, the country's airline industry faces its greatest crisis yet.
This is the worst crisis in airline history, and it's something where it surpasses 9/11 or SARS.
But the Prime Minister remains silent on what his government is willing to do to make sure the struggling travel sector and Canada's biggest airline stays alive.
We will have conversations with Air Canada, as we will with airlines across the sector, to try and see how the best way to get through this particular pandemic is. We know that airlines are incredibly hard hit by this pandemic, and we will be there to work with them to see how best we can help.
Air Canada will lay off at least 20,000 workers, more than half of its entire staff next month, as it tries to save cash. The airline is currently flying at only 5% after borders snapped shut to keep COVID-19 out and travel demand tanked.
It's going to take probably billions of dollars to help the Canadian airlines to make it through. And we're going to see as airlines, certainly in Europe, the US, and in Asia, some airlines failing. They'll go bankrupt as they simply cannot move forward, even with government help. Air Canada, WestJet, and Porter are in better shape than that, but they still need very considerable government help, is my sense.
The government was hoping its wage subsidy would be enough for bigger companies like Air Canada to keep its employees on the payroll. It wasn't. Air Canada announced the mass layoffs on the same day Trudeau extended the wage subsidy through the end of summer. The Prime Minister on Saturday sidestepped questions about whether he thinks the wage subsidy is working and whether an airline bailout is on the table. Trudeau said large employers can also access a bridge financing program, but he stressed
it is not a bailout, it is a loan that is going to help them get through.
But the industry's survival is not just dependent on government support.
It's really about customers coming back and flying. I was at the Montreal airport this morning, and it was a ghost town. I've never seen it remotely like that, even on a Christmas morning, the quietest day of the year in some ways. I think it's going to take a while for consumer confidence to come back to fly on airplanes because of the health side of the equation.
Air Canada did take advantage of the federal wage subsidy to rehire more than 16,000 employees who were initially laid off in March due to the pandemic. But the company has not committed to using the program beyond June 6th. For City News, I'm Caryn Ceolin.